feel free to go get you something that represents you being unplugged from the matrix and from under the control of the deep state and the Illuminati. The show is about to start soon. Hey everybody, this is Tony Montega, Tony X, Antoine-Tucker. Thank you for being here. The show will start in one moment. So go make sure you take care of the bathroom breaks. Go get your beverage, get your chips and popcorn. We're about. Due to adult language, themes, and images, I'm going to warn you, don't have your children around. Please don't let your children hear the language. Please, viewers' discretion is advised. I gave you a warning. Now let's get into the show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because somewhere around the world it is truly what time it is, and I'm your host, the dopest school analyst on this planet, and the most feared former congressional and senatorial candidate of these United States. Excuse me. Antone Tucker, Tony Montega, Tony X, Montega, the truth, the threat, the legend, Neo, the wisest man in the room, and I'm here with you, and we are free. From the Matrix. Thank you very much for unplugging with me. This is the last show of 2025, and today we are going to go straight in right now. We're going to go straight in right now. We're going to go in on California and Gavin Newsom. The fraud that we see within Somalia, we're also going to talk about, because before we get into the show and I start breaking down the numbers, just a quick opening and introduction. You wonder why the Democrats was holding up people's SNAP benefits and other things. You wonder why they did this. And they tell you that it was for health care. And then you see that the majority of the fraud that exists right now is due to health care. And you can't make this up either. The majority of the fraud that we see is in healthcare. So you're wondering, why is it that the Democrats is fighting for healthcare? Everything that the Democrats fight for is something that they're stealing. It's something that they're stealing. And again, we're not going to absolve rhinos from this, because in order for this to be successful and to sustain itself for so long, there had to be people on the right who knew what was happening and was definitely benefiting from this type of fraud, especially when it involves the Nancy Pelosi's. This is the reason why people like Mitch McConnell, who, well, we already knew who wasn't really there, but it's the reason why people like them started to fade away. When the Democrat Party started to scream on behalf of healthcare, it raised red flags everywhere, and everyone became aware of it. The Somali fraud isn't something that's new. It's something that's happened already. I believe in Sweden, where they go in and they do the same thing. This is just a playbook of the Somalian people. Moving into 2026, what Americans are going to demand are sanctions on Somalia. If necessary, even military action. Because this is an invasion. This is more extreme than people really understand. Because if it's that easy for Somali to do it, why everyone else isn't doing it? This is a group of people with the average IQ of 68. There are people within our government. It's not about people like, oh, it's money. It's not about that. They don't care about the system. They're trying to break the system because they feel like they already own everything that's necessary for them to enslave the rest of the American people, no matter what political aisle you may find yourself on. When you saw them screaming for health care, you saw them asking, begging, and then demanding, and then fighting, and then demanding that people go without eating. Every time Republicans went to vote to make sure that SNAP benefits would go through, they wouldn't vote on it. Said it was for people's health care. It wasn't. It's so they can continue to steal and funnel money. It is my belief that these people were trying to find the best way they could to wash that money and launder that money back into the Democrat Party hands because they have no money. In order for you to win an election in this country, it takes resources, financial resources, of which the Democrat Party currently do not have. And I don't know if you notice or not, but what you do not hear a great deal of and what you heard a great deal of was rhetoric against Donald Trump from former political leaders like Barack Hussein Obama, Barry Soetoro, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Bill Clinton. And you don't hear anything from these people because those grand juries in Florida are all but finished. And those people are finished too. Normally you would hear the most craziest things coming from these people, but you don't hear anything at all. Quiet. Church mouse quiet. And it's not for no reason. It's because the 2020 election. Also, this year we found out was, well, we already knew, stolen. Stolen. California's fraud has gone on for so long. California has suffered so much. And to see people online arguing with me over California, and they're saying it's the fourth largest. There's people who I love dear dearly. Shout out to Maria. There's people who I love dear dearly. Shout out to all the Mukes. Shout out to all my family members. Shout out to my brother Tremaine. Shout out to Tremaine Jr. Shout out to all my family in California. Shout out to the Stockton, California. All right. Shout out to the North Side. Shout out to everyone in Orange County. Shout out to my family in Orange County. Shout out to my manager in Orange County. Shout out to everyone in California because California was the richest state in the country. Happy birthday to Noel. Noel is the backbone of everything about this platform. So happy birthday to Noel. I want to say that this show is definitely dedicated to you. I know that you're watching, and there is no Echelon without you. There is no Montega without you. I am devoted for all of my life to protecting you, to making sure that everything that I can do within my power will always keep you safe. I appreciate everything you do on your side for us. And man, it is just, it's a blessing to know you. If there's ever a reason I need to believe that there is a God, I definitely can look at you and see him in you at every chance, every moment I get. I am thankful for you. So happy birthday. This show is dedicated to you too. I wanted to make sure that I told you that. California used to be the state, and I was saying this to Noel. California, to the producer, to our big producer. I was telling and actually Noel had brought it up, like California was the richest state. People would leave from all over the country and run to California because they knew they could make it in California. And it wasn't just about Hollywood and becoming some actress or something like that. People knew that there were so many opportunities in California. They ran to California because they knew they could make it there. If they could make it anywhere, they knew they would make it in California. They've destroyed California. I'm going to get into Gavin Newsom's California. There could be a $76+ billion in loss of mismanaged funds. out of California. In the 2025 audit, 8 agencies named highlights, H-likes. Is it H-likes? Yeah, it's highlights. A 92-page report reveals 15-year staggering potential losses in California state spending. The California State Auditor report reveals that $2.5 billion alleged food stamp fraud, ding snap fraud, homelessness. That's what was spent. These are what people can't find where the money went. Everything should be accounted for. You got 32 billion from COVID relief up and vanished. Let's get to the chart real quick. Let's put the chart up here so people can see it. So we have a chart on the screen so you guys can see a breakdown. There's 32 billion from COVID relief that's stolen. 24 billion on homelessness, incentives, and with an unclear outcome. 18 billion on the high-speed rail project that was never done in 12 years. 650 million on 911 system that reportedly failed and was scrapped. This is not to mention the fact that they have never dealt with the Delaware Gap water situation, continuously taking water from Northern California to ship it down to Southern California, hurting all of the agriculture in Northern California where tons of things are grown. This is not talking about them hiding the fact that the guy who set the fires to California has never received the amount of scrutiny that anyone else would have in human history. There was a brief moment on the news where they told you this is the guy that set the fires, and he said it because he was mad at climate change. And then it was shut case. The same thing that happened with the guy who unalived that woman in Minnesota that told you that it was Tim Waltz that told him to go to that woman's house and do it. And I told you before anybody started to speculate online, she was one of the people who was against the fraud that voted against it. Sure enough, lost their life. Because it just isn't about, these people with an average IQ of 68 didn't just go scam the U.S. government without the support of these white liberals who were screaming and crying about healthcare and talking about you have to keep the provisions, you have to keep because they were stealing from it. It was the last source of money they were stealing from the American people. Because USAID was closed. Closed for the holidays. This system that they set up going all throughout the country. And now you look at California and you got a guy like Gavin Newsom who has the evilest smile. I don't know how people can't see the devil in this creature. Horrible. Horrible. Here's how the land for the high-speed rail was acquired. Now dig this. Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband, brought the land using federal grants. What he was unable to buy, he invoked eminent domain to take the land from the generational farmers for pennies on the dollar with no recourse for the farmers. This is a hostile takeover. This is a criminal enterprise. He then sells the land to Dianne Feinstein's husband for full market value, also using federal grants to buy the land for a second time. The land is then sold to the actual developer for full market value, once again using federal grant money. Do you not see the scheme? Used the federal grant money, got the land, sold the land, then used federal grant money to buy the land back, then took the land, sold the land to an investor, and who the investor got the land using what? Federal grants. Shout out to the boss lady in the building. This year, 2026, we're going to bring you nothing but facts. We're going to break down everything to you. We want you guys to see this. Everything's on the screen, so when you hear me reading these things out, I'm just talking about it. But for you to be able to see it, it is on the screen right here, right now in front of me. It's easy for you to look at. Everything's up on the screen. So not only were Nancy Pelosi and her husband batting a perfect score, better than Wall Street on the stock market, but they were also using federal grants to acquire land, force out the farmers that were there, take the land, sell the land, buy the land back again with grant money to then sell the land to a developer who once again used federal grants to acquire the land. All of a sudden, California is up in flames. Again, they hide the fact that this guy goes in and sets fire to everything. He should be hanging. This should have been the most sensationalized news has been done by people on the left, and you have never seen the media talk about it because they're in on it. This is the Mockingbird media. The deep state, the Illuminati, is trying its very best to try to survive, try to endure. And this is the very reason why people like Gavin Newsom are told to people who are watching online and through social media, he is the clear choice for the presidential candidate for the Democrats. He's fucked up California. PG&E. I don't know if anyone outside of California knows what that is, but I'm going to tell you what it is. It's like Con Edison. It's the people who you pay electric and gas to. Only these people have caused Californians billions of dollars in damages and forced Californians to pay for the damage that PG&E caused themselves. And in most cases, a lot of the fires we've seen within California started because PG&E refused to update their lines, because it's dilapidated, causing fires. It wasn't just about California not picking up dry brush. It's because PG&E was delinquent, causing several homes, thousands and hundreds of millions of dollars. Thousands of homes affected. Up in smoke, fire. And people are losing their land. Why? Because now eminent domain. If it's built up, you can't build there. This is what they've done it for. Some people were saying, oh, they had tunnels under there. No, it wasn't about that. It's about removing all that shit because they want a smart city. This is them trying to still go around Donald Trump and the American people to implement this new world order. And we got to see it for what it is. Some of the people of California and the nation, hardworking taxpayers, purchased the land 3 times and make the Pelosi's and the Feinsteins and others millions. Let's be clear. These lawmakers write and arrive to the grants. I think that she meant approve. Let's be clear. These lawmakers write and approve the grants. They seize the land using federal eminent domain and then make the taxpayers buy it 3 times. And in 12 years, the rail has laid less than 1,000 feet of track. Some reports says no track at all. In 12 years, they haven't laid 100 feet, 500 feet of railway track. They haven't laid 1 mile of railway track. And when we're saying that the taxpayers are buying the property 3 times over, it's because it's your money that they're using. The grants are coming from you. Doesn't matter what political side you're on. Don't watch me thinking political teams. Watch me thinking conspiracy theories being exposed. Or at least we're going to bring them up. This amounts to 128 billion spent on a non-existing rail system. How do you miss that, y'all? $128 billion using taxpayer money, enriching politicians. Only California was once a thriving metropolis with successful businesses and a growing economy, and has been stripped of the parts and used for political gain. Beyond political gain, it's been used as a blueprint on how to destroy a successful state and city. And they're trying to recreate the same thing in New York after they reproduced the same thing in Chicago. And you've seen it on a smaller scale. Chicago's a very small city. You've seen there's just murder on top of murder. Those black kids in Chicago aren't leaving their communities, let alone their blocks, to travel to acquire those kind of firearms and ammunition. They're being dropped off there. Someone is dropping them off there. Kill each other. Someone's dropping them off there. In liberal cities, you know how hard it is to get firearms, let alone those type of firearms? You think it's some black kids with some gun manufacturing laboratory somewhere in Chicago and they're just putting those switches on the nose? No, it's not that at all. This is by design. A government that has everything to gain, everything to lose if you decide to wake up. It's intentional theft by corrupt politicians fleecing the American people. United Veneries, can't really see it that far away. Cities, California, and Colorado as the largest market for one-way moving services out of states. Gavin Newsom wanted to take this effort to D.C. and spread his formula to the entire country. It's not even about him trying to spread it to the entire country. It's these people as a whole and a collective operating as a single source with a purpose of sacking the largest economy. And I mean, people will say, oh, it's China, it's China. China's controlled indefinitely through dictatorship. At least here in this corporated state, you are still allowed a ton of freedoms Chinese people would give their pinkies for. Gavin Newsom's idea, the Pelosi's, the rest of his family members, and all of these people who are over here lying and protecting these people are first and foremost fear. Fear that if you wake up, what kind of horrible things will start to happen to these people, because it's just too many people to stop at one time. It would be ridiculous for someone to think that they could just stop everyone. So that's the greatest fear that these people have, right? And then the second fear is them being exposed, truly exposed, and then put out in front of everybody. How could someone who spent $128 billion on a non-existing railroad protect and create anything in this country? Everybody is sitting there telling you healthcare, 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 healthcare. But in California, healthcare is for illegals and for rich Democrats to continue to put money in their pockets. This is how elections are funded. It isn't because these people actually have individuals who are truly actively donating for them. If they didn't have the machine creating a facade for them, if they didn't have these paid protesters and agitators, if they didn't have the mainstream media, which is currently deceased, constantly lying for them, no one would ever vote for them. Mr. Nick Shirley should be suing CNN for saying that he promotes white supremacy, because he doesn't. He's a kid. And saying something like that about him puts his life in jeopardy. And they haven't learned from the last guy they lied about and said that he was accosting some type of Native American. And they haven't learned yet. Nick needs to sue them. This is the last show of the year. And mark my words, what you're going to find out is the reason why these people were screaming about health care and Obamacare is because it's going to come out that they were using this, and this is the main source of them laundering money and stealing money from the American people. You're going to find that it was existing within most of these Democrat states because that's how they were funding their elections and their extravagant lifestyles, fleecing the American taxpayers. And if you're a Democrat, imagine this with me. Let's not argue. Let's just be practical. They let in 20 million illegal people. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and believe that a lot of you have big hearts and you want people to have the best. And I'm talking about just my American people, just Americans. I'm not talking about the people who come from other places waving flags. I don't really care about you at all or your opinion. I'm talking to American Democrats. I believe that you may have, from a good heart and good place, wanted good for these people. But just imagine if you would have put half of that energy into your own countrymen. Imagine how much better all of our neighborhoods would look. If they would have never given 20 some odd million people money to come here, money to be here, money to hide here. If they didn't spend all of the money that they've spent on getting them here, housing them, feeding them, and then hiding them, meaning using our judicial system. Have you ever seen them plaster black men faces saying free these black men who are innocent? Absolutely not, not never. But you watch them do that for an admitted wife beater. You watch them do it for someone who's illegal. And if you're a white liberal, I'm going to tell you to your face, shame on you. Because black Americans are waking up. Shame on you. Imagine if you didn't give that 20 some odd million people anything. Imagine if you said, I want to take care of myself first. Let's just have a rational conversation this last time this year. There's nothing wrong with saying, I need to take care of my house first before I help anybody. There's nothing wrong with saying, I don't have anything to give because I don't have an abundance of something to share. I've yet to have it for myself, for my own people. Imagine if we didn't give 20 million some odd people all of that money. Imagine if we didn't let in all of these Somalians. Imagine if we didn't send any money anywhere to any country. And we demanded that all of the money stayed here. I'm going to tell you what I believe we would have. We would have free medical coverage and care for women who are pregnant. I believe it. I believe it from the bottom of my heart. I believe that we would have had real nutritional food for children going to school. I believe it with all of my heart. I believe that all of the major roads and highways would have been fixed. Beautifully maintained. I believe most of the side roads would have been adequate enough for more travel. I believe that had we not helped all of the whole entire world before we decided to help our own selves, we wouldn't have women saying, I would rather kill my baby than have it because I'm going to be too poor with it. They took care of everybody. Everybody. They ain't take care of no Americans, no matter what political side you are on. For over 10 years, I have been saying, and remember, it's two wings on the same dirty, dirty bird, and this catchphrase won't change coming 2026. But I'm expecting you to change. I'm expecting you to stop dying on the sword of political names because it's bullshit. It's nothing but logos and sponsoring. Football teams with the script. What I want you to decide to do is come down a rabbit hole with us. So-called conspiracy theorists. The people who have been telling you some of the most crazy yet insightful things for over the last 10 years. I remember the first time my cherry was bust and I learned about Bohemian Grove through the great Alex Jones. Turned my life around. And it turned everything the left was doing to me upside down. I'm not telling you that we're saying we have perfect people. I'm telling you, this is the only movement that ridicules everybody, that has open discussions and respectful arguments with each other. This is the group that exposed everything to you. Covert cover-up, fake shots, we did that. Autism in kids, we did that. Mercuries and shots, we did that. Cancer causing chemicals in the food, we did that. We did it all. Epstein's Island, we did that. Pizzagate, we did that. We told you about Hillary and Bill. No one wanted to believe us. And no one on the left, when Donald Trump was in office the first time, before he got in office, when they cheated in 2020, none of them asked about his files. No one cared about Jeffrey Epstein. They were texting him when Donald Trump was in office. I'm not saying you have to agree with us on everything. I am saying that we agree on a lot more than we truly disagree on. I'm saying that the opportunity for you to start to see your country look better is right now, right here, this moment. And it's okay for you to say, I don't agree with Tony because he leans a little more to the right than I would like to go. And I'm going to say, okay, as an independent, I'm more conservative. I'm a conservative independent. I'm a constitutionalist. This is me. This is what I am. But I still love and respect you. Because if you're an American, I need you to do good in life. Because if you're doing good, then I can do good too. I don't know if you hear the national debt. I don't know if you know how that applies to you, but they say every household is in debt for this amount of money because it's all of us in this. You are not alone. The machine has made people feel alienated, put you on islands all by yourself, making you believe that somehow the people who are here with you don't face the same struggles and adversity you do, when we all do. Doesn't matter what color you is, you will find that they're still spraying the air over everyone's head. It's time that we choose to wake up. You can hold resentment for a lot of what the government has done to you, but you also have to realize that today is a new day. And not everyone's responsible for what happened to you yesterday. But we could damn sure do something about tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new year. New start for some of you. But for some of you, will continue to be the same thing. I'm going to start praying for you more. Because what I'm finding out and what I'm learning and what I'm feeling is, doesn't matter what you choose to put your energy into. When you choose to put it in prayer, you make yourself better. A man that is not afraid to talk to God is a man that's not afraid to confront himself, his wrongs, and want to change them to make himself righteous. I'm going to see you guys early in the morning because we will have a first thing early in the morning show. I'm hoping that by 12:10, we will have the stream up live because this coming year, we're going to work. Work, 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 work. I love you. I love every single last one of you. I pray that God protects your family. I pray that God heals those who are sick. I pray that if you don't have any faith at all, someone shows you to have faith in yourself. Have a great year. I'm sure you will. And leave whatever it was here in this year. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay American. And remember, it's been both sides, two dirty wings and the same dirty, dirty, dirty bird. No, it's not everybody. It's the people you seen get rich as hell really fast. Last commercial of the year of our sponsor from the Smile Doctor, but he will be still sponsoring the show all next year. We got a sponsor. I've been a patient here now for close to a year. I wanted the best care. I wanted consistent care. Sometimes you can go to places and when you do the reviews, you'll see, oh, you know, it's okay. If this person is working, it's bad. But when you check the reviews on the Smile Doctor, it's all positive. As soon as you walk in the door, I was always made to feel like I was a priority. It can give you a great experience. The televisions on the ceilings almost give you a euphoric. They find out what music you like. So even the music of choice that you do like, it's playing when you walk in. I had a debilitating tooth issue that was actually going to start eating away at my bone marrow. And Dr. Reed caught it very early on. He removed the bad tooth. The surgery was easy, it was painless. I have two brand new teeth, and like I said, they're very attentive. So they're gonna measure your discomfort, they're gonna measure what pain you may have, and they're gonna deal with it. It's just a beautiful and positive environment. The experience here is unlike anything else I've ever went to, and I just encourage anybody out there, if you're watching this, come see the facility, come listen to how quiet it is, come listen to how happy the people are when they're exchanging words to each other. Come experience what it is to actually come and smile with confidence. Come to the Smile Doctor.